Team, we carry all kinds of things, or at least we like to tell other people. What's the most important EDC item? No, sorry, Riggs, it's not you. And as beautiful as this shotgun is, it's not the shotgun either. So, what could it be? It's not gloves. Like, you don't need to keep your dick beaters safe, and it's not a light with red light and white light that can strobe. It's not having a pen and pencil, the old lime green pencil. It's not even the tiger stripe camouflage pattern that all you soy boys love to hate. So what in the world could it be? We like to walk around with our bat belts, and it's not the SHTF field manual, although this probably should be something that you check out. It's not the high-speed watch that's facing your body. It's not a fixed-blade knife, and it's not even a radio for communications. It's not a flashlight. You'd think it might be because lots of people carry one, but it's not. But wait, maybe it's something that we wear around our neck. Is it a whistle? Or is it a ferro rod and having another backup light? Nope. Maybe for me, maybe you think it'd be a compass. But it's not a compass. It's got to be a pistol, right? It's a 45. Nope. Okay, well, what about a backup pistol? You got to have two, right? Two is one and one is none, everybody says. That's not it either. Around our belt, it's not the belt. Is it a Gerber? Nope, it's not a Gerber. Is it a protein bar? It's definitely not a protein bar. How about a phone? Could it be a phone? Look, it's 58 degrees. That's why you don't see my breath. It's got to be a lighter, right? And got to have duct tape on that lighter. And the lighter works. But it's not. And it's not a box cutter. It's not even a folding knife that's good for cleaning your fingernails. Maybe it's a pack of cigarettes that you can use for trading. Or a backup lighter. Again, two is one and one is none. Maybe it's cold, hard cash, right? But that's not what it is. But maybe it's something that's sentimental, like my dad's folding knife or my dad's P38. Unfortunately, that's not it either. But maybe it's an Altoid tin. But what's in here? Nothing but happy little tree mints. They make you feel good and chill you out. But that's not what it is. So what could it be? It's nothing in my hat. It's not the beard, is it? No, it can't be the beard. Is it the stoked shirt? No. But there is something that I still have on me, and you're not going to believe what it is. It's in my back pocket. It's right here. It's a copy of the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. This is the most important everyday carry item that you should have on your person right now, but you don't. The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, everything that we need to live and operate in our republic is right here. And yet this is something that we don't live by, we don't abide by. Far too many in these United States despise what's in here. So we're going to take a little bit closer of a look. Because I would submit to you that although you need one of these in your back pocket, you also need to actually open it up and read it for yourself. And there's tons of copies out there, on eBay from $5 to $10. So go get it done. I'm not going to give you a link. You can look for it yourself. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. and to establish a new government, laying its foundation on such principles as organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety, happiness, prudence, indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms in which they are accustomed. Some powerful stuff right there in the Declaration of Independence. Of course, it goes on to list all of the things that we held against the crown. The Constitution begins like this, and we're going to look at a couple of the articles. One in particular, as far as the amendments are concerned. And we'll talk about the articles as well. But a couple of the amendments, and one in particular that now more than ever is obvious that the people that you want to vote for don't care about this Constitution. Because if they did, they would abide by it, right? Which amendment do you think that is? What is the most important of the 10 amendments? Now, that's a hard question, right? Which one is the most important? But which amendment fits that bill, right? We'll see. Of course, it begins that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, and provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and for our posterity, do ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America. And then it begins in Article 1, right? All legislative powers herein granted shall consist of a House and Senate. So we know that Article 1 deals with nothing but the legislative powers. House of Representatives shall choose their office, their speaker in their offices, and have sole power of impeachment. So that's one of the things that the House of Representatives does, right? Power of impeachment. The Vice President of the United States is the President of the Senate, doesn't vote. The Senate shall have the power to try impeachments. Very interesting here, right? Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than removal of office. I like this one. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year. It's almost like this was not supposed to be a JOB, right? You kind of get that feeling just at least once a year. I want you guys to meet up. Now we get mad if they're not in Washington, D.C. at all. Like, this is retarded. Let's see, Section 6, it goes into the senators and representatives shall receive compensation for their services, and they shall in all cases except treason, felony, be privileged from arrest. Did you know that? All bills for revenue originate in the House. Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes. I think we're taxed enough as it is. I don't think we need anything new in there. Imposts and excises, and to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. So it's all, of course, it goes into borrowing money, regulating commerce, naturalization, bankruptcies, to coin money, counterfeiting, post offices, and roads, and useful sciences. So there's a lot of broad language in here. And if you look at our spending, like most of it deals somewhere in here in Section 8. So it would be hard to say that all of the spending is inherently unconstitutional. But, that just is what it is. To declare war, to raise and support armies, to provide and maintain a navy, to calling forth the militia. Do you think that you're a part of the militia? Would you answer if they said, we need all the militiamen to come forward, you probably wouldn't. So does that make you constitutional or unconstitutional? Let me know in the comments. But it also goes further to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia. Now, many would make the argument that the militia of 1770s, right, and late 1700s, effectively emerged into what is now known as the National Guard, right? But that's ultimately neither here nor there, and shouldn't be something that we bash each other over. To make laws for writ of habeas corpus and things of this nature, right? Also goes into saying that no state shall enter any treaty with anybody else, right? That's the job of the federal government. And then Article 2, right, in Section 1, it talks about the executive branch. Now, too many times we talk about the President of these United States as being the leader of the free world, as being the leader of the United States, and that's not the case, right? That's why we had the form of government that we do. So the President is the Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into service for the United States, right? Has the power of pardons, to make treaties, to appoint ambassadors and public ministers and judges of the Supreme Court and all other officers of the United States. And then that's pretty much it, right? That's what the President does. Very short. Article 2 is very short. Article 3 is the judicial power, right? One of the things that they're supposed to do is deal with treason, right? And then as we go in a little bit further, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion. That's right there in the old Constitution. I know somebody who's been talking about this very thing down closer to the border. So let's get into some amendments. Of course, the first 10 were in effect in 1791, right? We love the First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech and of the press, and the right to people assemble peaceably and to petition the government, and that we shall have no law respecting the establishment of religion. And we love the Second Amendment, talking about well-regulated militia, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We've come a long way since that one. Some of these amendments most people don't think about, right? That you shouldn't have to house people in the military. That you have a right to basically a grand jury. That you have a right to a speedy and public trial. The right to trial by jury. That excessive bail shouldn't be imposed. But let's go in all the way down to the 10th Amendment. This one, there's so much in this amendment that people do not abide by. And when I say people don't abide by it, yes, I mean the powers that be that we have all elected in the executive branch, right? The President of the United States, that we've elected to the House and the Senate, simply do not abide by. So it's not just them, it's kind of us too, because we want them to do the things that we want them to do, which in many cases is not in a power that's listed in this Constitution. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So what does that mean? That means if it is not specifically in this book telling the federal government what they can do, and if this book does not tell the states or the people what they cannot do, right? And there is an instance of that, right? The states cannot enter a treaty with another foreign government. If it's not restrictive of the people and the states, and if it isn't explicitly told to the federal government, this is what your job is, it should be left up to the states and to the people to figure out how to handle a variety of situations. And that is so much, right? And so a lot of times what they love to do is use some of the vagueness, right? Well, we need some welfare of the people, right? And so they use that, and then they abuse how much is put into that. Or they say we need to provide for the common defense and, the defense of the United States. And then they will take and they will abuse that and grow a military-industrial complex. But there are so many things outside of the scope of this. Take, for example, the Second Amendment. Look at all of the restrictions that are out there that exist that your state, your county, your town abide by. When's the last time that you had any form of conversation with anybody about those restrictions and what it says right here? The last time I checked, shall not be infringed literally means shall not be infringed. The last time that I checked, anything that relates to the infringement of firearms is outside of the scope of the Constitution. Now, are you going to get by with that argument? No, we're not, because we are so entrenched in where we are at in all branches of the government. The new norm has taken place. And unless we all vocalize what this says, you're not going to get anywhere on your own. So you have to figure out other ways to do things. And that's just an example, right? That's just an example. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments about other areas where the federal government has overreached its step in what is said here in the Constitution of the United States of America. What are some things that they do that are not explicitly in here, that are also not prohibited in here for the states to do? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below. Team, I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.